established rich coming right back at you. And this one right here, this one is about silence, discipline, and protecting what God shows you. We're not talking about hiding. We're talking about maturity. We're not talking about fear. We're talking about understanding timing. Because everything that's real ain't meant to be shared right away. Some things are given to you early, but they not meant for the world yet. And that's where most people mess up. They confuse receiving a vision with announcing it. You get excited. You feel like you got something special. And the first thing you want to do is tell somebody. You want to talk about it. You want to share it. You want to post it. You want to hear somebody say that's dope, so you feel confirmed. But sometimes that's the first mistake, because what you got might be too precious for everybody's ears. Some visions are like seeds, and seeds don't need an audience. They need protection. You don't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to show people. You let it sit. You let it grow. And that's how dreams work. They're not made for public consumption in the beginning. They made for private development. Now let's talk spiritual for a second. Not deep, just real. Sometimes God shows you something early, not so you can go tell everybody, but so you can start preparing. You can start aligning yourself, because that vision ain't just information. It's instruction. It's direction. And if you're too busy telling people about it, you're not listening close enough to what you're supposed to do with it. And that's where people get off track. They start looking for validation instead of looking for clarity. And now your dream ain't between you and God no more. Now it's between you and everybody else's opinion. And everybody don't hear like you hear. Everybody don't see like you see. And some people don't want to see you win at all. And that part right there is what people don't like talking about. You can be talking to somebody, smiling in your face, and they quietly hoping it don't work out. Not because they hate you, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Your progress reminds them of what they not doing. And you think you sharing joy, but you actually planting envy. And envy don't always show up as loud. Sometimes it shows up as doubt. Sometimes it shows up as little comments and subtle questions. You think that's gonna work? You sure you ready for that? And you don't even realize it, but now your mind starts shifting. Now you second guessing. Now you overthinking. And all that came from telling the wrong person too early.
You can't tell everybody your dreams, because everybody does not dream of you being above them. Their hope is that you will always be beneath them. That's why they're friends with you, because you're on their level or beneath them. But if you want to know who loves you, start climbing and being above them, and they will show you that they loved you when you were down here, not when you got up there. Sometimes your enemies are up close to you. They are members of your own family. They go to lunch with you. They eat with you. And they're all right with you. Stop telling all your business on social media. Stop friending everybody on Facebook. Stop trying to be everybody's friend. Everybody ain't going where God is trying to take you. Everybody's not going to be what God is wanting you to be. And you are lowering yourself to try to befriend folk who are not going where you on your way. God is blessing you to be up here, and you're going to answer somebody down there. Go ahead and do what it is God has called you to do. Stop trying to answer folk who don't know God.
Listen, this ain't about being paranoid. This is about being discerning. Everybody don't deserve access. Everybody don't deserve details. And that don't make you fake. That make you focused. You can still be a good person and keep your business to yourself. You can still show love and move in silence. Now let's be practical, because this ain't just spiritual. This is psychological too. When you tell people your goals too early, your mind starts rewarding you like you already did it. You get that little hit of satisfaction like you accomplished something. But you didn't. You just talked about it. And that little feeling can slow you down. It can make you less hungry, less driven, because your brain thinks we already moving. And now the work don't hit the same. Now the grind don't feel as urgent. And that's dangerous, because you still is zero. You just made zero sound like 10. And that's why silence matters. Silence keeps you hungry. Silence keeps you focused. Silence keeps you working. Now let me bring this home personally, because this ain't just a theory for me. I've seen it and I've lived it. You can be around people you just met and you start telling them everything, your plans, your moves, what you building, where you headed, and it feels good in the moment. It feels like you connecting, but you don't even know them like that. You don't know how they think. You don't know what they carry. You don't know what they struggling with. And now you just handed them your vision without even knowing if they can hold it. And some people can't hold nothing heavy. They drop it, they distort it, or they quietly root against it. And you wonder why your energy off. You wonder why you second guessing yourself. And it all started with talking too much. Now, this don't mean shut everybody out. This don't mean move like you alone in the world. It means be selective, be intentional. Everybody shouldn't get the same version of you. Everybody don't get the full story. Some people get results. Some people don't get the process. And that's okay. That's growth. Now think about this. Two different people, two different approaches. One person gets a vision and tells everybody. The other person gets a vision and moves quiet. One person looking for reaction, the other person looking for execution. And most of the time, you already know who wins. The quiet one, the focused one, the one who didn't need applause to keep going. And that's what this message is about. Not silence out of fear, but silence out of purpose. Because everything you say too early, you expose too early. And everything you expose too early becomes vulnerable. And some things ain't supposed to be touched until they strong enough to stand. And that's the part people miss. Timing. Timing is everything. When you say it matters. Who you say it to matters. And if you miss that, you can damage your own vision. Not because it wasn't real, but because you exposed it too soon. And that's a hard lesson to learn, but it's a real one. So now, when you move forward, move different. Not secretive, not sacred, just disciplined, just focused. Let your work speak first. Let your results introduce you. And when it's time to talk, you won't need to explain anything because they'll see it with their own eyes. The next question is, can you actually live like that? Can you keep your mouth closed when you're excited? Can you stay quiet when you see it coming together? Can you build something real without announcing every step? Because that's where the real test is. Not in knowing, but in doing. A lot of people understand this message, but they don't practice it. They hear it. They agree with it. But the moment they get some good news, they right back to talking. Right back sharing again. Right back exposing again. And they don't even realize it. They keep resetting their own progress. Every time you talk too early, you lose a little focus. Every time you over-explain your plan, you give a little energy away. And energy is real. Focus is real. And you need both of them to finish what you started. Now let's talk about discipline. Real discipline. Discipline ain't just waking up early. Discipline ain't just working hard. Discipline is holding your tongue. Discipline is knowing what not to say. Discipline is letting people underestimate you. Discipline is not letting people know what you got going on and being okay with that. Completely okay with it. Because when you need people to see it early, you start chasing validation. And that's a trap. Validation feels good, but it don't build nothing. Validation sounds good, but it don't execute nothing. And if you're going to live on validation, you're going to struggle in silence. Because real work happens when nobody's clapping. Real growth happens when nobody is watching. And if you can't operate in that space, you're going to keep stalling yourself. Now let's talk about pressure, because that's another part people ignore. When you tell people your plan, you create expectations. Now people watching you different. Now people asking different questions. How's that going? It's still working out for you? And if you're not ready, that pressure can throw you off. It can make you rush. It can make you force things. It can force you to do something too early just to look like you're moving. And now you out of position. You out of alignment. All because you spoke too soon. Some people don't just doubt you. They study you. They watch how you move. They watch what you're building. And they move accordingly. Not to help you, but to position themselves. And you think you just sharing, but you really giving information. And information is power, especially in the wrong hands. So now your vision ain't just yours no more. Now it's out there. Now it's exposed. And that's why silence isn't just protection. It's strategy. Now let me say this clear. This does not mean you don't trust anybody. This does not mean that you isolate yourself. It means that you know who deserves access. It means you earn the right to share by making progress, not by excitement. And that's a big difference because a lot of people share off emotion. Very few people share after completion. And that's why you see the gap. One group talks, the other group works. And the group that works always looks more powerful because they're not explaining nothing. They presenting the results. And results don't need defense. Results don't need validation. Results speak for themselves. Now, let me bring this back to spirituality because that's important to me. Some things that God shows you are not for discussion. They are for direction. They're not for everybody to understand. They for you to follow. And the moment you start running that vision by people, you start distorting it. Now it's not pure anymore. Now it's mixed with opinions. Now it's mixed with fear. Now it's mixed with doubt. And now you confused when you were clear before. And that's why sometimes you got to move like it's just you and God. No announcements, no explanations, just action, just obedience. And when you do that, you stay aligned. You stay focused. You stay grounded. And that's where the real progress happens. Now let's talk about consequences because everything got one. If you talk too much, you risk doubt. You risk losing momentum. But if you move in silence, you build power. You build confidence. You build real progress. And when it finally shows, it hits different because nobody even saw it coming. Nobody was prepared for it. And that's a different type of impact. That's a different type of presence. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. You just point and let the work speak. And that's why this whole message is about protecting what's yours until it's strong enough to stand on its own. So moving forward, move with intention. Move with discipline. Move with awareness. Not everybody deserves your vision. Not everybody deserves your process. And that's not arrogance. That's wisdom. And once you understand that, you start moving different. You start building different. You start winning different. And you won't have to talk. They'll see it with their own eyes. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.